It is 3 o'clock in the morning, Sunday into Monday, and it has been raining for several hours. Of course, we've got a little possum here, um, unexpected visitor, but it's been raining for a few hours. And we also had rain the other day. And you can see everything is wet here. My little pools are here. And I did have an hour and a half of rain, not rain, of my hose in the creek behind my house today. Now this is all the water that's here. There is nothing flowing from the top. Nothing. This is not naturally occurring. And there is something being done at the top of the hill to prevent the water from flowing down here. This is not just because we didn't have a lot of rain this summer. It's only June. And it's bone dry. And as I mentioned previously, this happened overnight. It happened over the weekends. And we'll go down to the main creek because I'm going to continue documenting this until something gets done about it. Because this is a crime. Somebody's trespassing my property, vandalizing it, and stealing. So these are 3 crimes. In addition to the fact that this impacts the environment, the wildlife, the habitat. So here's a little bit further down, and you can see it is dry. There's no water trickling down. There's no running water. There's no accumulated water. And of course, this probably is in retaliation for my filing a complaint. But the complaint is an important one because it affects actually everybody. So here you've got the creek that parallels the eyesore of the bridge. This is the creek that follows, parallels the county road. You cannot walk in it. I'm going to say in some areas it's 3 feet deep. Maybe like right here it's a foot deep, but it's 3 feet deep. Maybe in some areas, maybe even a little bit deeper than that. But the creek behind my house, which is this, usually deposits into that creek. And there's nothing to deposit. There's nothing here. No water. So I'm going to walk a little way. And I have noticed that when workers were on the top of my hill a couple of years ago, they did a lot of damage there. There was this old guy. His name escapes me right now. I'll remember it. He was just so bizarre. I didn't hire him. Somebody I hired him as a subcontractor, and he was really obnoxious. He starts talking sexual things. His wife doesn't give him sex. He's divorcing. He is divorcing her because she doesn't give him sex. And is this the way you speak to somebody you just met who's a worker? But this is his behavior. This is the way he responded to me. But he brought this huge backhoe and tore up my property. I didn't hire him. Somebody else did. So now I'm going to the other end of my property, also behind my house. And this is where water from the hill trickles down. And there is a lot of water on this property, regardless of how much it rains. I mean, of course, the amount of rain that we have affects everybody. It affects all water levels. So you see here, there's nothing here. Now this I've noticed weeks ago, but this did not affect the water in back of my house. So you see, here's a hill, and water naturally flows downhill and deposits here and goes along the road. And this is quite a steep hill. I'm going to say that the further up you get, it's really a mountain. But this is manipulation, theft, harassment, and it coincides with not only my receiving a wildlife habitat certification, which means that you provide food and water and a safe place for animals, but also with my filing a complaint with the Department of Water because our local judge lied about receiving FEMA grants for the creek and the bridge. He lied. I put out a video about that today after receiving a FOIA, Freedom of Information request, response from Ross Murray, county lawyer, who only responded to 2 of 6 requests. And the reason is they don't have the information for the other requests because they don't exist, which is further proof of their lying. So now I'm walking to the top of a hill, which is usually very wet, and water deposits here. And it is wet here. It is wet. It's not soaking wet, but it is wet here. And this also trickles down to the creek behind my house. In fact, usually it gets so wet here, like when I first moved here, you could not even walk here. It's like a swamp. And actually, in walking here right now, you can see water here. It's very wet. And of course, this is a hill, a steep hill. Yeah, this is the area that was damaged by that man. That obnoxious man who said he was divorcing his wife because she doesn't give him sex. This guy had to have been 70-something years old. But anyway, this is for documentation purposes only. I'm going to continue to document each time it rains and the accumulation or lack thereof of water. So once again, this is Lorraine with Alternative Homesteading. It's crazy early in the morning. But this needed to be documented. And I'm just going to walk down these stairs. Oh, by the way, this is some vandalism the criminals did. This is a pattern They sliced a piece here, and then they drilled a hole up here. Let's see if I can find it. Here, you see that? They drilled a hole there. These are psychological manipulations and psychological psyops that they do. They want to make it appear as if it's naturally occurring. No, after I moved here, this hole was drilled. And they're actually slicing this here. And cut this piece out. They just slice it. So anyway, this is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading, documenting that it is raining right now. It's not a heavy rain, it's a very light rain. But it has been alternating a heavier rain and a light rain for hours. We had rain during the day and it stopped, and then I went out and I was able to use the trimmer for a little while. And then the skies opened up again. And that's usually the way it is here in Kentucky. It could rain, like we could have a downpour. Oh, we've got a little critter here. What's this? Is this like a huge inchworm? What is that? Can you see that, guys? That is more than an inchworm. I don't know, whatever it is. It's probably thinking, I came out here for some fun. Here's some woman shining a light on me. But it rains here like this, where it will downpour, thunderstorms stop, the sun will come out, it'll get balmy, and then it'll do that again. You know, in one day, it could rain 3 or 4 times. We have not had that in June. It's usually not this dry until August, but even in August of last year, there was still water running in the creek behind my house. Signing off. Hope everybody's having a good day.